Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Buffalo's own visionary leader and entrepreneur. He is the immediate past chairman of 43 North and managing director of Lorraine Capital. Additionally, he is the CEO of the Jacobs Institute and the vice chairman of the Collider Health Board of Trustees. Please give a warm welcome to your host, Bill Maggio.
Welcome to tonight's Ignite Buffalo. You ready to go, everybody? Yeah! All right. Before I get started, there's one important thing I need to do. There are 23 small businesses that pitched their hearts out 2 days ago that didn't make it. Some of them are here today. Let's give them a round of applause. They did a great job. As a lifelong Buffalonian that has dedicated almost my entire career to the resurgence of our community through entrepreneurial efforts and investments in local companies, it is a true honor to be with you here tonight, celebrating yet another achievement for our great city. I thank you for being here to celebrate our small business community and the $1 million that we will be granting to 27 businesses right here on this stage very shortly. You know, as a community, we are constantly reminded of the importance of a well-rounded, inclusive, and diversified entrepreneurial ecosystem. Our history is filled with examples of businesses that have impacted our development to become the second largest city in New York State. There are those that started small right here in downtown that now are major players in the global corporate world. The likes of Rich Products, M&T Bank, Delaware North, Moog, New Era, amongst many, many others. What is most important is that despite their global success and footprint, they still call Buffalo their home. And then those that started small, planted roots, and have been embraced by the Western New York community, allowing them to flourish and grow right here in our neighborhoods. Think about when you walk down Hurl Avenue or Grant Street, or you see yet another new restaurant open in Larkinville, or in the town of Hamburg. These neighborhoods are bustling because people are following their dreams and opening small businesses. They are taking large personal risks. So we have better coffee, new yoga studios, better beer, unique dining experiences, better shopping and selection in clothing and food. You no longer have to go to New York City or Toronto to have a five-star meal. We have it right here, thanks to our small business owners. Thank you. Thank you. Now, we wouldn't be encountering the resurgence that we are having without great leadership. I am honored to have Mayor Brown here tonight, to whom we owe a great gratitude for his endless efforts to advance Buffalo's renaissance. I remember when I called the mayor and told him that I wanted to speak to him about this partnership with Facebook. We met at a small coffee shop in the city. And within 5 seconds of telling him what the initiative was about, I had his full support. I'd like to invite my good friend Mayor Brown to the stage to offer us a few words.
Thank you. Wow, what a tremendous Buffalo turnout. Give yourselves a round of applause. This has been a fantastic week in Buffalo for small business, thanks to Facebook Community Boost and the Ignite Buffalo Finals. I want to thank Facebook for choosing the City of Good Neighbors to come to, and I am pleased to be back again tonight at SUNY Erie with Bill Maggio, and I want to say a special word of thanks for all of the work that Bill has put into bringing this program to Buffalo with Facebook. Let's give Bill Maggio a great big round of applause. I also want to recognize some of the other great entities that have made this week possible, certainly including Facebook, M&T Bank. The chairman and CEO of M&T Bank is seated in the front row, Renee Jones. Let's give him a round of applause. QuickBooks, Amazon Web Services, WordPress.com, WooCommerce, and Empire State Development Corporation. Let's give them all a great big round of applause. Tonight is a big night for 27 Ignite Buffalo finalists and the 7 finalists who will be called to the stage to pitch for 4 $50,000 grants and 3 $100,000 grants. Yeah, you can say, wow. Also, a shout out to Dave Jakubowski, Buffalo's own, working for Facebook. Let's give Dave a round of applause. I also want to congratulate all of the small business owners who jumped at the opportunity to develop their social media skills through Facebook's free training sessions and compete in the Ignite Buffalo program. Your overwhelming participation reinforces the hard work we've been all doing over the past 10 years in Buffalo to grow this city into an inclusive city of opportunity for all people and a great city to start and grow a business. Buffalo is experiencing a tremendous renaissance. Since 2012, almost $6.5 billion of economic development activity in our city. We have worked hard to cut our tax rate by double digits here in the city of Buffalo. So it's a great and affordable place to start and grow your businesses. We have set strong goals for the participation of minority and women-owned businesses and minority and female workers. And we are delivering great success with projects like the $120 million Northland Corridor project and the $900 million Solar City Tesla project moving forward in our city right now. And as many of you might know, Buffalo has been recognized nationally as one of the best places in the country for millennials to grow, to live, and to work. Yeah, you can clap on that. Very enthusiastic audience tonight. I love it. Now, the Facebook Community Boost and tonight's Ignite Buffalo event will help dozens of aspiring entrepreneurs learn new skills to grow their businesses and further contribute to Buffalo's growing economy. So soon, you will hear some very exciting pitches. So please, sit back, relax, and enjoy the evening. Thank you all very much.
Okay, let's keep this show rolling. Thank you, Mayor Brown. I know David was just recognized, but we also have to give him thanks. Buffalo born and raised, Dave Jakubowski was a finals judge on the stage at Shays last October for 43 North's finals event. It was in the green room at Shays where the light bulb went off for Dave. He thought we need to do something similar for others, for non-startup companies right here in Buffalo that need capital and curriculum to grow their businesses. Fast forward 8 months, and here we are, about to award $1 million to 27 small businesses from across Western New York. And we just concluded 3 days of educational programming. Talk about a man who can get stuff done, Dave. On behalf of all of us here tonight and the entire community, we thank you for making this a reality right here in Western New York. The impact that we will be created as a result of Ignite Buffalo will last for generations, I assure you. Please stand up and take a bow. David worked very closely with myself, Eric Reich, and Jordan Levy, current and past chairmen of 43 North, to bring this opportunity to life. I'd like to personally thank both of you for your consistent support of me and to continued commitment to do good for Buffalo so we all can benefit. Let's give the two of them a round of applause as well. And I would be remiss to not include Alex Gress, the current president and CEO of 43 North, for giving me access to his amazing team to help us pull off this event. Alex, thank you so much for your great leadership. Okay, to help explain the path we have taken since Dave called me to say Ignite is a go, we made a short video capturing our process over the past few months. I'd like to have you take a look.
So we launched at M&T Bank in the Gold Dome, and then Nate and I hopped in the car. We were constantly on the 90, hitting small towns in Western New York, meeting potential applicants and folks that had applied or might have questions. We partnered with different chambers of commerce and organizations that were in touch with small businesses to help encourage people to apply and that type of thing. I've said it a few times to our staff, and that it was probably some of the most impactful work I've ever done. People came, we saw plenty of tears, we laughed. We heard a lot of stories about how this money will literally change lives through business development, growth. So it was real work that we're going to do. We've done. This money will make direct impact to people's lives across the 8 counties.
As soon as 43 North and Facebook made the final announcement, we've been working with all of our branch employees and business banking employees to do really what they do best, which is talk to our customers, talk to our non-customers who are in the community that are building and creating small businesses. It's very much in our DNA as an organization to work across all community lines and with a plethora of different organizations, and that's what we did. I think it was a wonderful outcome for such a short time to have that many applicants, and really strong applicants. It speaks worlds of Buffalo and how enthusiastic our community is.
Along the way, it was such a great reminder that the good work that was going to come out of this. And I think that was something that I had in my back of my head the whole time, of the impact we're going to have, the real people that have spent their lives creating businesses and running them, and how this grant of whatever nomination will literally change their lives.
It really has been an incredible few months, watching the Western New York small business community come together to embrace the Ignite Buffalo program. We have been overwhelmed by the interest and support from across our 8 counties. I'd like to particularly acknowledge the many judges that took time during this beautiful summer to help us narrow down our field of almost 500 applicants to the 27 you will meet tonight. If you supported us in any of the judging process, please stand to be acknowledged now, and let's give them a round of applause, please. In addition, we had unbelievable support throughout the whole recruitment and judging process from our friends at M&T Bank. And anyone who knows M&T Bank knows what incredibly dedicated they are to this great community. They hosted our launch event at the Gold Dome building, where we announced to the community this incredible opportunity. They helped to drive applicants to our website and actively sought out small business owners that they know to recommend them that they apply. I would like to personally thank my good friend Renee Jones and his entire team at M&T Bank for their support. Renee, thank you. In addition to M&T Bank, Facebook attracted some of the world's leaders in service providers for small business to Facebook Communities Boost and Ignite Buffalo. We're talking about Intuit, WordPress, WooCommerce, and Amazon Web Services. They have all partnered with us to create a quality educational experience and one-of-a-kind mentorship program to support Ignite winners in the Western New York small business community for these past 3 days and for the next 12 months. We are grateful for the new relationships and offerings that will be provided to our community. A round of applause for those great partners. past 3 days here at SUNY Erie have been packed with education and programming from our partners through the Facebook Community Boost program. As that was happening, the top 50 Ignite Buffalo companies were tucked away in a conference room pitching for a shot at one of our 27 grant awards. And what was an incredibly, and I was a part of it, incredibly difficult judging process. We narrowed down the pool to the 27 winners that you will meet tonight. We had an overwhelming number of applicants from across all 8 counties during just a 3-week application period. Giving the judges in each round a very difficult task, I am still personally amazed at the number of applications and, more importantly, the quality of small businesses that we met and that have applied. With that said, let's get to the moment we've all been waiting for, awarding the $1 million in grants. We will start with the $25,000 grant award winners. But first, I'd like to welcome the chairman of 43 North and president and founder of Campus Labs, Eric Royce, to the stage. Eric worked very closely with me to bring Ignite Buffalo to fruition and has done a magnificent job creating his small business and growing it to hundreds of employees just down the street in downtown Buffalo. Let's give Eric a round of applause. Okay, so here's how it's going to work. I'll try to keep this as uncomplicated as process. I'm going to call 9 companies to the stage 3 times. I will then read the names of those $25,000 winners who will step forward and receive their trophy from Eric. Are you giving them money too? Are you the one who's paying for this thing? Okay, you ready to get started? Okay. Our first group of 9 is L&K Design, the flower stand. LA Movement Fitness. Buffalo Distilling Company. Papercraft Miracles. Jeka Energy Bar Company. Abyssinia Ethiopian Cuisine. Bread Hive. I missed 2. Barrel and Brine. Buffalo All-Star Extreme. You're up. That's why I don't work in a bank. Congratulations. Okay, our $25,000 winners include L&K Design, the flower stand. Congratulations. LA Movement Fitness. Buffalo Distilling Company. Papercraft Miracles. Jeka Energy Bar Company. Abyssinia Ethiopian Cuisine. And Bread Hive. Okay, if her name was not called, I'd like to ask you to step back behind me. And the rest of you, congratulations and best of luck. This is fun, right? This is good, right? Okay, I'll try not to screw it up this time. Although, okay, ready for our second group. Our second group of 9. We started off with Onome gluten-free. Next up, we have Get Focused Productions. Crown Buffalo. Rooted locally. Danny Fit. Oxford Pennants. The law offices of Stephanie Adams. Mobile EcoSteam. Whole 9 Wellness. Okay, our 25,000 winners include Onome gluten-free. Crown Buffalo. Rooted locally. Danny Fit. The law offices of Stephanie Adams. Mobile EcoSteam. Whole 9 Wellness. Congratulations to those winners. If your name wasn't called, please step back. Thank you. Okay. This is fantastic. This is great. This is Buffalo, man. This is just great. Our last group of 9, we start with Spoke and Dagger. Black Monarchy. Top Seeds. Revolution Spinning. Stonework Market Garden. Always Something Farm.
That's great. All right, we're good, man. We're good.
Executive Sweeps. Grow Operative. Casa Azul. Our 25,000 winners include Spoke and Dagger, Black Monarchy, Revolution Spinning, Always Something Farm, Executive Sweeps, and Casa Azul. If your name wasn't called, please step back. The rest of you, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, meet our 7 finalists. Now this is where I get to have fun. Are you guys nervous? Yeah. Are you? You should be. Okay. You all have a chance, as you know, to win up to $100,000. As we have 2 $100,000 awards and 4 $50,000 grants to give away next. In addition, the audience will vote. This is great. The audience will vote and help us to determine the 3rd $100,000 winner, our People's Choice Award. So why don't you guys head backstage, take a deep breath while I introduce our judges and explain the People's Choice Award to our audience. Congratulations. All right. They're excited. Okay, we have selected 3 very dynamic and experienced judges that I know will put these businesses to the test. Please help me in welcoming them. First, we have Eric Feldstein from M&T Bank. Eric is the head of business banking from M&T, where he leads all sales functions for the division. Eric has over 20 years in business banking experience, having spent time in Washington, D.C., New York City, Chicago, and now calls Buffalo home. Welcome, Eric. Next up, I'd like to welcome 43 North's own Colleen Heidinger to the stage. Colleen is head of 43 North's programming and community engagement and has been my lead in Ignite Buffalo from day one. Additionally, Colleen runs her own events planning company. Did you know that, Eric? And is opening a small business in Larkinville very soon. Welcome, Colleen. Lastly, I'd like to welcome Jamel Cruz to the stage. Jamel serves as Director of Social Media in the Office of the Mayor and Buffalo Common Council for the City of Buffalo. He is also the founder and creative director of Cruz Control Media, a digital and multimedia agency. Jamel is also very involved in the Buffalo Urban League. We are glad you're with us. Jamel, please come to the stage. about to get started with tonight's pitches, but first I want to let you know that you do have quite a bit of power in your hands. You're going to determine which of our finalists will receive our People's Choice Award, which is, as I said, $100,000. We will need you to text your vote, so make sure you have your phones ready as we wrap up our 7 pitches. While listening to the pitches, think about which one you would like to see win our biggest prize, and get ready to cast your vote once we conclude all 7 pitches. Did I really need to read that? I think they got that part. All right. All right. Time to get started. Let's hear it for our first presenter, Lindsay from Beryl and Brine, located right here on Buffalo's west side. Okay, Lindsay's got 2 minutes, and then we'll have 5 minutes of questions. You ready to go?
Ready to go.
Okay.
Hello,
Timer
everyone.
Start.
Beryl and Brine is Buffalo's first and only fermentation shop. We have a huge line of probiotic, healthy food and drink that actually tastes good. Our story begins in late 2015 when we decided to take a huge risk. We emptied out our savings account. I totally dumped out my 401k. We are the definition of all in with our company. Now you can find our products in 30 locations, including 2 national grocery stores, Whole Foods, and Wegmans. Our biggest issue is keeping up with the demand. Right now we have a line of sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, Bloody Mary mix, and pickles. And they can all be found at those locations. Sorry, I'm so nervous. Sorry. Whole Foods has already committed to carrying our products throughout New York State and beyond once we can make the product. Success with Ignite Buffalo allows us to achieve 4 main goals. First is creating more product. The second is being able to grow, creating food manufacturing jobs right here in Western New York. Third, with Ignite Buffalo's help, we can make huge purchases from our local farmers. And fourth, we can expand our educational classes. This fall, we'll be relocating to a 4,000 square foot production facility in Black Rock. With Ignite Buffalo's help, we'll be able to purchase an industrial-sized cabbage shredder, mixers, fermentation tanks, a 400 square foot walk-in cooler, and a bottling line. With these upgrades, we can increase our kombucha production from 900 liters a week to 9,000. We can increase our sauerkraut production from 500 pounds a month to 1,500. That is a substantial growth.
Okay.
And with that growth comes new jobs.
Congratulations. She deserves a round of applause for going first. It's not easy to go first. Okay. Eric, we'll start with you.
I'm getting hungry just listening. What a wonderful story. So, Korean kimchi with the fermented cabbage, anchovies, etc., mixed with kosher dill pickles. Where do you see longer term your target audience?
We have 2 different customer bases. Everything we do is from a culinary perspective. So we have the people who buy our products because they're delicious and they just love the products. And then we have the people who want our products because they are so healthy. We don't pasteurize anything, so it's totally probiotic and good for you.
Great, thank you.
No problem.
Can you give us an idea of what your marketing strategy is going to look like?
Our marketing strategy right now is basically we have our logo, which is Beryl and Brine. So the barrel is a nod to all of our ferments. So we have our 2 sauerkrauts, kimchi, and kombucha. And then we have brine, which is our pickles. We know that sometimes when a store buys our products, they're not going to all be merchandised together. So we do need that brand recognition, which is really important. What we're going to be doing is expanding into all 99 Wegmans locations. And then Whole Foods wants to carry all of our products all the way down into New Jersey and Manhattan, and then extending out past New York.
So you were just about to cut off when you were going to get to the jobs. So you know
Yes.
that's what we're all about here. So
Yes.
talk a little bit more about specifically what jobs will be created if you win this money.
So all of the money that we would win would go into purchasing the manufacturing equipment, and that's where we would start creating that job growth. We would project hiring 10 new full-time positions as soon as we got all of that equipment up and running, which would be in the latest October.
And talk about, so I love that you're going to Black Rock because it's a great neighborhood coming back. What does this mean for Black Rock?
BlackRock, the street we're moving to, Chandler, is just all empty, vacant, really neglected buildings. They've been totally redone, and they're beautiful. We'll be in an area with Blackbird Cidery, Thin Man Brewery, 2 tech development companies, and then a 3rd brewery is being added to that street as well. So it's literally going from nothing to this really booming, cool fermentation alley kind of place.
That's great.
I'm interested to know more about you. Like, what is your background? How did you get into this particular industry?
So my background is actually at Sephora. I ran the beauty studio, so it was like running a small business inside of a very big, monstrous business. My husband, my partner's background, he's been in the food industry for over 20 years. We got into this because, my grandmother worked on farms her whole life, and she made us work on those farms. And she used to say, if you haven't worked a full day on a farm, you haven't worked a full day in your life. And I totally agree with that. My husband has worked in the food industry, and he's seen the waste from produce. And he's seen farmers get turned away because some of the produce maybe just isn't pretty. But it still took a lot of work, and it's still delicious. So our goal is to take all of that and preserve it so that we can help our farmers grow, but also we can enjoy that produce all the way into December, when it's at the peak of its freshness, and you can enjoy it all year long.
Can you just talk, so I know it's you and your husband?
Me and my husband, RJ.
Right, and the rest, can you talk more about your team?
So our team right now is just 3 part-timers. One of them is a refugee from the Congo named Jocelyn. The other is Steve, he's a local from Buffalo. And we just added on another part-timer, Addie, to help with kombucha.
So as you look forward 2 to 3 years from now, success to you looks like what?
Success to us in 3 years would be being able to compete nationally. We want to be able to compete with those guys who are coming from California, and they think that the market is wide open in the East Coast. And we want to put our foot down and say, we're Buffalo, we're here, we can make these products, we can do it better because we're Buffalo, and we can compete nationally. We can put Buffalo on the map for something other than chicken wings. I love chicken wings, but something other than that.
Okay, so roots will stay in Buffalo.
What's that?
So your roots will stay in Buffalo?
Yeah, absolutely.
Time for one more question.
So you spoke about having your business over in the Black Rock area. Are there any plans of expanding it beyond that area into other parts of the city and parts of the region?
In the Black Rock area where we'll be, we're actually going to open a cafe and tap room. So we'll have a heavy focus on fermented foods there, and we can host classes there. If we outgrow that location, which is very possible if we move into all of these Whole Foods and Wegmans locations, we would open another pilot area.
Awesome.
That's great.
Great job.
Lindsay,
Well
great
done.
job.
Thank you.
Good job.
That was horrible.
Really good. Next up, I'd like to welcome Maida from Groundworks Market Garden. Maida. Thank you. Ready to go?
Yes. All right. Good evening. Thank you, judges. I'm honored to be here on behalf of Groundwork Market Garden. We are a minority and women-owned business based on Buffalo's east side, and we have taken what was once a vacant lot and turned it into a productive urban farm. We recently acquired the 40,000 square foot warehouse you see in the back of that photo there. And with that and our 2 acres, we produce over 80 varieties of USDA certified organic produce. But most importantly, we're reconnecting the community with their local food system. So we're allowing them to have direct relationships with the people and the land that grow their food. This is our team. We are small. My partner is Anders Gunnarsson and I, and we're hoping you guys can help us with that. There are many reasons why our local systems and national food systems are at risk, but the one that I want to impart tonight is that locally we have inequitable food systems, and vulnerable communities are disproportionately affected. This is especially true in the zip code where our farm is located, which is a certified food desert. So we need to invest in young farmers, we need to invest in urban farms, and we need to educate others about why this is important. So since 2015, we have been working very hard to do just that. We, through our CSA program, farmers markets, and collaborating with numerous local businesses have produced tens of thousands of pounds of produce for the benefit of our community. And just today, we started training youth on our farm through Urban Ag and Entrepreneurship Program. So they'll be with us for a 6-week paid program. We have a lot more good that we can do, and we're hoping with this funding, we can do that more, because so currently we're swamped with field work and can't keep up with demand. So with this award, we would be able to invest in technologies, soil to expand our field, and hire an employee, so I can quite literally take my head out of the weeds and start focusing on the growth of our business. We want to have a commercial kitchen, educational space for year-round programming, and invite other businesses to join us in our very large building. We want it to be a resource and a mainstay and a shared benefit to our community. So thank you.
Great job. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, Jamal, why don't you kick? You want to go? No. Jamal,
Great presentation.
Thank you.
I think it was really great, the fact that you have your business right now strategically located on the east side, because as many people know, there are a lot of food deserts on the east side. Can you talk specifically about why you felt it was important to have it in the particular zip code that it's in right now?
Yeah, well,
I want to also
Sure.
have you rewind a little bit and just explain what a food desert is.
okay, so a food desert is an area that does not have access to fresh fruits and vegetables. So there are grocery stores and in the area, but they might be a mile. And in a city, when you don't have a car, a mile might as well be 10. And when you've got to carry groceries, you've got to take a taxi then to the grocery store. It's really a struggle for a lot of people. So we are in a certified food desert. There are not many options. We're surrounded by corner stores and not much else. So strategically, just for that reason, we need to have local foods, healthy foods, and give them to people in that community. That zip code particularly does have chronic illnesses, elevated chronic illnesses directly related to poor diet. So it seems like a good fit.
Have you seen the impact yet with your business being in that area? Have you seen the impact with the people that live in that area?
Absolutely. I mean, people are thrilled to have us there. They're excited. We want to be able to do more. And just, we try to get our products out as best we can, and we do need to make a profit. So if we have some funding, it would help us to be able to expand that programming even more. And especially with the youth. The kids today that were on the farm were so excited that they harvested our garlic with us, and it was just incredible.
So today you produce over 70 fruits and vegetables. With the additional funding, where does that look like overall production or varieties increasing from what to what?
Right. So there are so many untapped markets that we haven't gotten into yet. We are expanding into the building to produce 3 different varieties of mushrooms. We could do year-round growing, so we'd be able to supply restaurants and farmers markets and our community with food year-round. So that would expand our reach incredibly. And I feel like there was something I was missing there. I'm done with that one.
Overall production, that's okay. What would the overall production look like? Would it be a 50% increase with the technology, et cetera? What would that look like to you?
I mean, just with buying soil alone, we would be able to double our fields.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, at least that easily. And we've been doing that ourselves every year. So with $100,000, I think we could do a lot more. We're on a 2-acre lot, as I mentioned. We're only using a little under 1 acre currently. So we would be able to expand to the full 2 acres and indoors into our building.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So who is your audience?
We've identified 3 audiences. So we have our farmers market audience, right? Those are the people who come to our market each week. We've got our CSA, or farm share. For those of you who are not familiar, a CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture. It's a farm share program. So people invest in our farm. They pay up front at the beginning of the season, and then they receive produce for 20 weeks throughout the season. And then we've got our neighborhood. And the way that we reach all those audiences is different. Through social media and stuff like that, we can target our farmers market population, but the immediate neighborhood is more word of mouth and going door to door and talking to people, which quite honestly, I haven't had enough time to do, because I'm always, if any of you have had a garden, you know how much work it is. And I've got 2 acres to manage, and I'm doing it mostly. My partner works a full-time job, so he's there nights and weekends, and we're just working all the time, but it's a lot to keep up with. So if we could hire a field employee, that would be huge.
Right, so will your audience or customers change if you win the money?
I just think they'll expand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those 3? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Where do you see your business in 18 months from now?
18 months from now, ideally, we have maxed out our property. We're doing more educational programming, and we have like proper places for them to be. But right now, it's great. They're there. They're doing it. We've got at least the basic facilities for them. But we want to invite school groups. We get asked all the time. We don't have the kind of space and facilities, excuse me, for them. And ideally, I'm having a paycheck. My partner is too, and we've got an employee who's getting paid as well. So,
Great.
yeah.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, no worries.
Okay, next up, I'd like to welcome Ayana from Buffalo's All-Star Extreme.
Super excited right now. Thank you.
Take a little time.
1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Ayana Williams. I am CEO, co-founder of Buffalo All-Star Extreme. This is my business. BASE is the acronym for Buffalo All-Star Extreme. It was birthed in 2012, and my niece and I were sitting at an all-star cheer competition, watching people perform and spend a lot of money. You're probably asking me, how do I know why they were spending money? Because that was me sitting in the audience, and that's my daughter, Anaya, who I was paying a lot of money for. Anywhere up to $250. I was actually paying $500 a month in tuition for her to do competitive all-star cheer, which is, cheer has come a long way. It's not pom-poms anymore. It's actual competition cheer where you're lifting, flipping, and so forth. Unfortunately, 12 weeks into our brainchild, actually our cash cow was going to be born, my niece was murdered in the city of Buffalo, which changed the focus of why I was going to do BASE. I started looking into how I can prevent things from happening in our communities and so forth with BASE. And I found that youth sports had just become deprioritized in the city of Buffalo. Kids didn't know what All-Star Cheer were, so me introducing it to them was like super amazing. They were excited. I introduced Majorette Cheer, which is like HBCU style. And I found through sports that they wanted to do more. They stayed together, they became a family, they're more interactive. 97% of my kids want to go to college, so it's a good thing. The solution is BASE. We just became the solution. We became a family. We started teaching them All-Star Cheer. We teach the kids empowerment. We teach them leadership. We teach them to stay together. It's an $8 billion industry, so we own a piece of the pie. Not a lot, but we own a piece of that pie. Of course, there is, competition everywhere. But we're in the city of Buffalo. We're the first and only All-Star Cheer team in Buffalo, so we have a good competitive advantage. The only disadvantage that we may have is that someone may try to be BASE. I'm so nervous. This is my team, and I love them. And I call them my family. So that's just BASE.
Great story. Great story. Okay, you ready for the questions?
Yes. Any questions?
Okay, Eric, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, very, very inspiring in terms of the story and your business model. I see that one of the things you do is provide classes for athletes with intellectual or other disabilities.
Yes.
How can you take that and make that outreach even broader than what it is today if you were given the funds?
Just recently, we did start a special needs program. This is the program that you're talking about, which teaches children with disabilities how to be competitive in the world and be just taught like everyone else. With the funds, we're able to hire more staff that have a focus in special needs and can actually work with more of the coaches on hand so that we can bring more in. So that would be the first thing we would do for special needs.
Great, thank you.
Can you talk a little bit? I mean, I know the presentation went pretty fast, but we didn't get a chance to really see your team. But can you talk about the makeup of your team, like the background of your team, and
So my team is so cool. So what I love about them is I have 19 members of our family, our team. 8 of them are key players, and 4 of us have college degrees and 4 of us don't. You would never know the difference because through the United States All-Star Federation, we're all trained and credentialed. how to be coaches and work with, children and get them to there. So the backgrounds, we have every walk of life. I have someone with a master's degree working with us from SU who helps our kids with the STEP team. And then I have someone who doesn't even have a high school diploma, and she's our #1 coach. So.
Now, are all of them volunteers right now at this point, or you have paid
At this
staff?
point, everyone pretty much are volunteers. I do have one person that's a 1099, and they kind of help me oversee whenever we can get help.
So I want to know a little bit, I think maybe we rushed through it, a little bit more about how the money will be spent to grow your business.
Okay, so.
Deep breath.
Thank you. So we have an opportunity to get the space next door to us, which is to expand. An average size competition gymnasium floor is about 1,800 square feet. We don't have that in our gymnasium. We have about half of what an average gymnasium would have. This will allow us to expand and actually give our children a competitive advantage when we're competing. So that would be one of the things we would do, would be to expand and get first-hand equipment. We've been getting second-hand equipment since the beginning, and I would just love to just give them a good floor to just go out there and actually, like I said before, just give them an advantage. So it'd be used towards equipment, expanding, and hiring.
Great.
What about marketing?
Marketing, I think I'm good at marketing until I attended the Facebook community thing. So I realized that my marketing dollars are going to be implemented with some of the things I learned. So I learned free ways and I learned more expensive ways, but I would definitely use a lot of the funding to reach more.
So how many additional students do you think you can impact if you were given the $100,000 grant?
We currently have 167 athletes in our program. We more than guarantee can double without a doubt, no questions asked, if not triple. Since we started with 11 kids in 2014, so 2013-2014 season. Every year we've either doubled or tripled, and last year we saw our biggest growth. So
wow.
We would definitely, and we have to say no right now because we don't have the space.
And how are they finding you?
Right.
Well, again, I thought my marketing was good, but honestly, we have results. So, like, one of our athletes was very troubled in school and getting into a lot of fights, and I'm very present in her life. And just using her as an example, she graduated at the age of 16 now. Like, literally, we were so there, but her just talking to everyone in school, and the kids, the word of mouth from the kids have been phenomenal. But we also do a lot of community events. We're out there, we do like the parades, we go to community centers, we clean, just so we can wear our shirts and get our name out there so people can know who we are. We also were on TV, so it helps that,
And where are you located?
We're at 1245 Main Street, which is like the best neighborhood ever. The old post office if you're from Buffalo, and I'm sorry, but it's mine now. But we're right across the street from Delta Sonic, so it's a really cool area because it's like up and coming and it's pretty.
So is there a competitive process for the kids that want to be involved in this program? Like how does that work if people want to join?
So we take everyone, no matter what, you make a team. So we don't turn anyone away. You do make a team. However, through training, they get better and better and better. And at that point, we can place you on different levels of teams and stuff. Our majorette team, which is very competitive, when we first started, we did process of elimination, those who were good. Now that we have our own space, we just got our own space about 1.5 years ago, we don't turn anyone away.
Yeah. Yeah, will you see with the grant, will you see employment amongst your team grow?
That is priority. Like, I'm so excited about that because I can actually hire someone, which means more commitment than just myself.
Sure.
So.
It's great.
Awesome.
Great job.
So much.
Great job.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, I'd like to welcome Dave from Oxford Pennant.
Thank you.
Ready to go?
It's over.
Floor is yours.
Here, let me take it off of you. This is.
We are a designer and manufacturer of wool felt pennants, flags, and banners. We started the company in 2013 with $2,000 on my personal credit card, and since then, we've grown it into a global brand. We manufacture most of our products on Buffalo's east side using Eastman machines, which are also manufactured in Buffalo, and our goal is to move all of our manufacturing into this facility by 2020. Of the 3 products that we manufacture, we have 3 distribution channels: retail, wholesale, and custom. We sell approximately 100 SKUs on our website, direct to consumers, and we also sell out of our catalog to stores across the country and around the world. From Stockholm to Sydney, Los Angeles to Tokyo, some of the world's coolest shops carry Oxford Pennant. The fastest growing part of our business is in customs, where we partner with brands to create product for them. Here you'll see examples of partnerships with the Detroit Red Wings, Adidas, J.Crew, and that photo in the middle is The Rock. He posted that on his Instagram the other day, 2 weeks ago. How are they finding us? Well, they're finding us on Instagram, where we have over 40,000 followers. They're organic followers. They love our brand. They advocate for us, and they open new doors every single day. We've experienced steady growth since our founding, and this year's our best year yet. We're currently trending 60% above where we were in 2017. We're looking to end this year with $1.5 million in gross revenue. Pretty cool. If we win this competition, if we win the top prize, we need machines and we need people. We're currently selling more than we can manufacture, so we need to buy new equipment. We need to hire people to run that equipment. On the administrative side, we're going to be adding a full-time marketing manager to perpetuate the growth that we've already realized, and we need an art director to onboard new work. And finally, next month, we're going to be extending our investment into downtown Buffalo, a full-time flagship retail store. That retail store is going to need a store manager. Look, Oxford Pennant has defied gravity since our founding, but we found a way to combine social media with Buffalo's rich manufacturing heritage to create a business that really can only exist here. And if you give us the top prize in this competition, you're pouring fuel on a company that's already red hot. This is our home. We're excited to grow here no matter what. Thank you for the opportunity. Time to kill.
Good job. Okay, who wants to start us off?
Yeah. So,
Colleen, please.
Dave, tell us how you got to Oxford Pennant.
How I started the company? It started with a love of pennants. So I grew up with them. I think a lot of guys that I know kind of grew up with pennants in their bedrooms. And in 2013, I was traveling with my business partner, Brett, and we came across a vintage pennant. We were like, where do you get these made? And as we looked, we found that the companies that were manufacturing them were kind of staid and weren't really doing anything innovative. So we manufactured our own. It wasn't difficult. And we put them on Instagram, and it stewed around for a little bit. And then a couple of people caught on, asked us if we made customs, and it just took off from there.
Great. Part two is community engagement. So I love the Main Street piece. But what else? And you have this global presence, which is wonderful. But I want to know more about what you're doing for Buffalo.
Yes. So we're opening this retail store on Main Street. Retail store is going to need employees, all of that. One of the things that I've found with retail is that I think everyone's always lamenting the death of retail, and we just think retail can change, and it just needs to be more immersive and more interactive. So the retail store will have more opportunities for pop-ups and for other brands to pop up in our space, and we've done that a few times before. One of the other things that I'm really excited about, which my mentor suggested, is bringing people in to teach them how to manufacture pennants, which would give people an opportunity, hopefully young people, an opportunity to learn how to make things with their hands, teach them how to sew, teach them how screen printing works, and let them leave with something that they made, which is an experience I had as a kid, and it led to this.
And speaking of retail, do you find that you get more traction through your brick and mortar or through e-commerce?
Definitely through e-commerce, right? So the brick and mortar, we've done a couple of things. So we've popped up in Buffalo, and we've had little 6-week, 4-week events in Buffalo. They've done great. They've always been profitable. It's e-commerce all the way, right? We found opportunities to manufacture really high quantities of products for brands like the ones that I just shared with you, and that's a very profitable enterprise for us.
And speaking of your digital strategy, I mean, it seems like you do really well. I mean, obviously you have a lot of followers on social media and such. Can you talk about some of those strategies and how you were able to grow your followers to those numbers?
So, sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
We have kind of a few core philosophies at the company, but one of those philosophies is to make every customer feel like they're our only customer. And even though at any given time we have about 200 active orders, which my team does an excellent job of processing, we want to make sure that when the box shows up in the mail, that it's the most exciting thing. So we include a handwritten note. The boxes have been well branded. We have really cool packaging, and we find that people will actually post about us on Instagram when their package shows up, even if it's just a one-off pennant that we're making for someone's wedding. So because people will talk about us on their own, right? They have these unboxing videos. That sort of thing benefits us on a one-by-one basis. And then these partnerships with really big brands always drives traffic back to the company. J.Crew posts about us on their social media feed where they have 1 million people and they tag us. We automatically see a surge in followers.
So you have on your website a section that says championship banners, and I looked at that in detail. I couldn't find the Buffalo Bills on that. Why?
It had to come up. Great question. So our company is moving toward licensing, and I actually have contracts on my desk right now with Learfield licensing partners to actually, we have our first contracts coming up with Buff State, UB, and Damon so that we can test the waters on collegiate licensing. We need to shore up manufacturing because once we get to the level where we're making pennants for the Bills and the Sabres, they're going to want thousands and they're going to want a lot of them, especially if we market them properly, and our manufacturing it's not there. We could take on one of those projects, but not in quantity.
Sure.
And once we get the NFL license, we're going as hard as we can,
That's wonderful. Yeah. Just to piggyback on that, You've talked about sales growth. What is employment growth locally here in Buffalo, New York? What does that look like if you're given the $100,000 grant?
Yeah, so it's the seven jobs that I outlined in my presentation. That's like the immediate future. I think that's something we can realize by the end of this year. Beyond that, our strategy, like our short-term, like kind of midterm strategy, would be to get to about 20 employees, which will be more supplemental rules to what I've described today. And I've always kind of said that I want to be the new era of pennants, so that when people see a pennant, they think of Oxford pennant. And so I really think the ceiling for this company is new era. If we get the right licenses, if we make people love our brand, this could be many hundreds of people, maybe even thousands of people, if we do it right and if we continue to manufacture here.
Great, thank you. A couple more.
What's your unique value proposition?
I'm sorry, one more time?
Your unique value proposition.
So we find a way to combine brand with a product that's both nostalgic and novel at the same time, right? So yes, like anybody can create a pennant. Anybody can get a sewing machine and some felt, make their own. Our unique value proposition is that we're able to take a product that's nostalgic, that kind of reminds people of like American history, and we give them an opportunity to utilize that as a canvas to do whatever they like. And our customers will always be more creative than us. So because we can create customs, we always think that Oxford is not just a brand, it's a canvas, it's a platform.
Great.
David, great job.
Thank you.
Are we having fun? This is fun, right? Next up, I'd like to welcome Rebecca from Top Seeds to the stage. Congratulations.
Hi, everyone.
You ready to go? Timer starts.
Hi. Top Seeds is a brand of premium gourmet snacks that are high in taste and nutritional value. The company was formed in 2017, and the brand and product demand has grown steadily since. We make products locally and currently employ 8 people on a part-time basis. We have two snacks, roasted seeds and crackers. Our best-selling product is a sea salt crackers, a great healthy snack either on their own or with your favorite dip or cheese. We've strategically invested in the branding to establish a strong market position at the premium end of the category. Customers have developed strong associations with the brand and the product, and demand has exceeded our current capability to supply. Our customers. We started selling in local farmers markets. We now sell in the local co-ops, all 12 of the Wegmans in the Buffalo area, and the Buffalo Whole Foods. Expansion with Wegmans and Whole Foods nationwide is a key growth objective. So why is Top Seeds a good candidate for investment? In short, because we have a robust business model and a compelling value proposition. We're passionate about producing delicious snacks that promote healthy living. Seeds are powerhouses of nutrition. We employ people from all over the globe, giving them the opportunity to contribute and integrate into incredible Buffalo. And the economic value, we're a business, and in the end, it's about creating economic value. Value for our customers, employees, suppliers, partners, and owners. So we have a great product in a unique premium category. Our current challenge is scaling to meet demand. This grant from Ignite Buffalo, coupled with guidance and mentoring support, will be invaluable as we enter the next exciting chapter of Top Seeds growth.
Great job. Okay, Jamal, because you want to go first, please.
So,
Thank you.
if you were to win the top prize, the $100,000 prize, can you talk about the direct impact that it will have in the local community here?
In the local community. Okay, we currently employ 8 people on a part-time basis. That will grow to 6 full-time positions. We'll be able to expand production and supply in a greater to Rochester, to Buffalo as well. Our suppliers, we're going to be quadrupling our demand for the seeds, and of course the impact on our customers. The local supermarkets are going to be having more stock. Yeah, we just can't supply enough at the moment. So.
What area are you currently manufacturing your business out of right now?
Just in Buffalo City. We rent a commercial kitchen, yeah. So our hope is to move out of there and have our own kitchen so we can quadruple our supply and meet the demand. Yeah.
I love just from this, your slogan, revolutionizing snacking one seat at a time is fairly unique. With that, given your New Zealand background, where have you, are you using any of the cultural side from that and the seeds that had originated in New Zealand, or is this really based on a domestic, concept? So what does that branding look like for you and going forward?
Yeah, that's nice. I grew up in New Zealand, like you said, and my whole life, my parents had a vegetable garden. Everything they made was from scratch. I didn't appreciate that at the time. I look back now and see how lucky I was. Then we moved on. I was lucky enough, I've just been in Asia for 20 years. And there I couldn't always find what I needed, so again we just had to make everything from scratch. So it's not so much a New Zealand cultural thing, but I guess it's more we just like good food.
Sure.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
So just a bit deeper into the job creation, what skill set do you currently have and what's missing on the team?
Okay, well, making the crackers itself, labor intensive, so I need people to crack, pack, and bake the crackers. That takes a lot of labor in itself. On top of that, I want to remove myself out of the kitchen because at the moment I'm making the crackers. With this money, I can buy equipment that can roll the crackers manually. I'm pretty fussy about some of the stages, so I don't always let people do that, but this machine that I need will be able to do that, which will move me into more of a marketing position and business development, so growing the business in the different cities, yeah.
And community impact-wise, are you partnered with any schools, or is Top Seeds working, doing anything outside of this?
I employ people from, I've just forgotten the name of it. Well, can you yell it out? What is it called? Journey's End.
Okay.
Journey's End,
okay.
yeah.
Wonderful.
Which, it's a refugee group and it's fantastic. So I'm working with them to get staff from there. I also, I have a lot of kids working with me from City Honours, from Nichols, so the inner city schools, the city schools,
What is that impact been like working with folks over at Journey's End? Because obviously,
it's fantastic.
We have a huge refugee population here.
Yeah, I have someone working for me from Honduras, from Bhutan. I'm from New Zealand. I have someone from England. She's not from Journey's End, and then I have, this poor woman from Bhutan who speaks perfect English, but she has all these different accents going on. She doesn't even know we're all using these different words for the different equipment we're using, but it's a lot of fun. It's great. I love it. Yeah.
Awesome. What do you aspire for this company to be 3 to 5 years from now?
3 to 5 years. The next big Buffalo brand, I guess. I want to be recognized nationally. Mm-hmm. I know my mum would collapse if this was on sale in New Zealand. So maybe internationally even, we've just got Canada next north. That's international. But recognized nationally would be nice.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And what about your team? What does your team look like right now?
I have, you mean in terms of professional services or the people working?
The people working with you.
Oh, they're a group of students I have who come in, and people from Journey's End, mums as well, who just want a little bit of extra money during the week. We start early and finish early.
So those are all paid? These are paid positions?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Everyone's paid. No one wants to do this for free.
Okay, we'll end on that note. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, I'd like to welcome Itina from Get Focused Productions. To go?
Yes. According to the statistics, I shouldn't be here right now. I was the daughter to a mother who abused drugs while I was in her womb. I was 14 months old when me, my brother, and my sister were placed into foster care. I went through a lot of different issues. I had low self-esteem, found it hard to communicate my emotions and hard to connect with the world around me. I learned about photography, and it saved my life. The ability to stop time and to take images and connect them with words and to create stories. that really changed my life. And I knew that I wanted to teach other people, and I knew that this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, to capture, to teach, and to give back. Give Focus Productions is a company that offers photography and film services, but we focus mostly on digital arts programming for young people. I get contracted in the schools, organizations, and agencies, and they contract me out to teach young people how to capture, teach young people how to create stories and look beyond their circumstances, teaching them how to think creatively, problem solve, and collaborate with other peers. The reason I feel my company deserves this grant is the same reason that youth program deserved a grant, because the ones that were requesting the funding knew that there was at least one young person who would benefit from such funds. That young person is me. I am the data. I am the product. I am the success story. I'm looking to expand this story, to not only teach young people about this tool of expression, but also to capture the stories of businesses, artists, companies all over Buffalo. This is my story, and I would love for you all to be part of my next chapter.
Okay.
So, thank you for such an inspirational journey to all of us. You know, just being a little more explicit relative to the 100,000, you know, upon receiving that, what would the next 6 to 12 months look like from there?
I would love to expand how many students that I reach. In order to do that, I need equipment.
Sure.
I need more equipment. In order to do that also, I need to invest in an expansion strategy to touch, to reach other businesses, agencies, organizations, schools, so that they can see the work that is being done, see the students that are becoming change makers, and want that in their schools as well. I would also invest, I'm sorry.
No.
Deep breath.
Okay. Doing great.
Equipment expansion strategy.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I'm not quite sure I understand who your customers are.
Yeah, my customers are schools, so middle schools, elementary schools, and high schools. Not only them, but also educators. I do professional development. A lot of teachers, unfortunately, don't know how to integrate technology into education. I'm the person that can come in and teach them. I've been doing professional developments in schools for a while now, and so I do that, and I also work within the detention centers. So I'm working with students who have been incarcerated, and I'm teaching them how to utilize not only the camera, but also words, connecting them, thinking beyond the circumstances that they're in, letting them change their perspective, allowing them to change their perspective.
Great, so you're in the Buffalo Public School?
Buffalo Public School District, sorry,
Great.
Yes.
So with 100, will that audience change?
Yes, I would look to, so in the last year, I've been gaining opportunities outside of Buffalo. I've been to Rochester. I've been to, it's called Pinyin, not too far from Rochester. And I've actually been asked to go to Fredonia and Jamestown to do some professional development with some educators and to work with their high schools.
How many schools are you currently in right now?
Right now, during the summer, I teach an apprenticeship, but during the last school year, I was in about 10 to 15 schools.
So, and you are contracted through
I'm
the schools?
contracted through the schools,
okay.
Yes.
Okay. So can you talk about your business model, you know?
So the business model, capture, teach, and to give back. So I'm capturing, I'm teaching young people how to capture. I'm teaching young people how to collaborate with each other, teaching them how to think beyond their circumstances, teaching young people how, not only young people, but the educators, how to take arts and education, put them together and really develop the mind, really allow that to translate throughout the curriculum and throughout education. I feel like I'm veering off from the question.
No, we I
get passionate.
Your business model.
My business model.
Right.
So a school can contract me. I have connected with an arts and education organization called Young Audiences. So schools directly contract me through them. They're like my booking agent. SEPA Gallery, that's the place where I learned everything I know about photography. There's teachers and educators and administrators that look to pull me in through SEPA Gallery and young audiences. Feel like I'm not answering your question.
That's fine.
So nervous.
I want to
I'm
know,
so
so
sorry.
you've got a lot going on.
Yes, I do.
How are you going to handle it if you win this money?
I've handled it so far.
I know, but we need 5 of you.
Say it again?
We need like 5 of you.
Yes.
So what are we going to do?
So here's what I would love to do. Young people between the ages of 14 to 16 find it very difficult to find jobs. There's a lot of employees that, and I understand, they're young. I get it, and I want to employ them. This summer, I'm working with 7 young people who are being paid to learn about photography, not just photography. See, it's not just about that. It's about thinking beyond your circumstances, right? It's about understanding what photography does for a business. So my students tomorrow will be going down Allentown and looking at 5 businesses, understanding those businesses. They did research today. Understanding those businesses, going inside of those businesses and asking questions, just like you're asking me. Taking photos of their space, taking photos of them, and taking those images and those stories, and we're going to put it in a gallery. That's just one assignment. So these students are getting paid to learn about photography, but also to learn about business. I want to employ them.
Great.
Great job.
Thank you so much. Okay, last but not least, please join me in welcoming to the stage Michael from Grow Operative. You ready to go? Timer's on.
Okay, so the name Grow Up came from our passion to grow fresh produce, and we're a worker-owned co-op. I grew up in a city, this city, with very few job opportunities and even fewer opportunities for healthy food during our 9 months of winter. There's certain parts of this city that have such scarce opportunity for fresh food. They're called food deserts. Why should we have to import all the food we need from across the world when we can grow it all right here all year? That's how Grow Up was born. We grow fresh produce and seafood year-round in East Buffalo so that we can eliminate food deserts and we can create jobs while respecting the environment. 4 years ago, we were the first to create Buffalo's aquaponic vertical farm. So we grow food with 90% less water and 80% less nutrients than conventional farms. Since we're growing indoors, we don't have to use chemical pesticides or herbicides, and we can produce twice the amount of food in the same space as an outdoor farm. We grow fish and plants together so that we can use the waste from the fish as a fertilizer for the plants. This way, we decrease our expenses and we save the environment. We also partner with the African Heritage Food Co-op so that we can provide on-the-job training for at-risk youth in the food-related industry. Now, we have a great problem. Our customers love our products so much that we can't grow enough. We're actually turning customers away because we don't have enough equipment. We're currently moving to a new space, a larger space, and with $100,000, we can buy 10 new grow towers, 6 new fish tanks, and we can create 2 new jobs. This would enable us to more than double our food production, and we would train 20 youth annually. This is phase 3 of our 10-year plan to create 10 jobs and to train 200 plus youth. This is our city, and this is our future. Let's grow it together.
Colleen, you want to kick us off?
So you mentioned we a few times.
Yes.
So I'd want to know a little bit about who that other person or persons might be, and then the whole team as a whole.
Okay, so there's 2 worker owners. Currently, it started off with a lot more, but now there's 2. It's currently me and my mom, and we have 2 worker owners in training. And we also have 2 interns. We partner with African Heritage in a lot of ways, and actually a lot of their members come and volunteer with us so they can gain skills. So we have a lot of people kind of coming in and out, learning, helping, figuring out how we can grow this community together.
And where are you moving to?
So we're moving actually with Groundwork Market Garden. They have a facility right next to their farm. Us and African Heritage Food Co-op will be in the same space so that the retail co-op, they can buy the food that they own the store, and they can make the food that they own the company. So it's creating ownership in the community for East Buffalo, where I live.
Great.
Can you talk about your customer acquisition strategy? How do you attract customers to the business?
So at first, I was knocking on doors, figuratively and literally. I would come with my products and say, buy it, it's great. Today, I don't know if you've seen the list of them, but we have more customers than we can handle. Each of them wants more from us. We can't provide it, and I actually just secured a deal with Canisius College. They'll buy as much lettuce as we can make for their dining hall. So they're like, well, did you win the award already? Because we're ready to go. Fall's coming up. And Facebook and Instagram, the people just keep pouring in. So it's really tough to keep kind of beating away the customers. We really need the money so we can build the equipment and get people what they want.
So Canisius sounds great. Who else is in line to become a customer if you receive this money?
So right now we sell to the Seneca Niagara casinos. They have 10 restaurants. We only provide microgreens. They want to do a lot more. They've already said, we'll start with 15 pounds of basil a week, then hopefully we can move up to maybe a few different gourmet types of heads of lettuce. And then all the other on the list there, they'd like to increase the types of things we sell them. So Lexington Co-op grocery stores, they want to start buying arugula from us and Swiss chard and mustards. As much as we can grow, we've got it sold. So that's really not our problem. Our problem is capital. We need more capital for more equipment. We're really close to like a manufacturing business where a lot of upfront costs to buy all the equipment, but once you got it, it's kind of like set it and forget it. It grows the food, we cut it, we give it to them, and it's great. But we're really focused on education. I think that's one of the biggest parts about what we do. I personally trained at-risk youth for the last 4 years at Western New York Youth Build and Occupational Skills. I came up low income, single parent house, just like my students. The life that they got to go through, they don't really deserve it. So they deserve something better, and I'd like to be a part of giving that to them. So we want to help train them, not only in growing food, but the retail end, but cooking, distributing, social advocacy, climate change. There's so many avenues to get into it. And since we're a worker-owned cooperative, democracy in the workplace is huge to us. We have it in the political system, but we don't have it in our everyday lives. We give that to our students. We give that to our customers. They realize this is something I want in every part of my life.
Great.
Jamal.
So,
Eric.
Yeah, sorry. Really inspiring story. You said vegetables, you talked about seafood. I also read that you breed predatory nematoids to attack harmful insects. That sounds serious.
So we don't actually breed them. We would love to get to that point.
Yeah.
So we use predators instead of chemicals.
Okay.
So if we get aphids or if we get a bug that wants to eat our crops, we actually release other bugs that only eat those bugs.
Wow.
So they basically eat as much as they can until there's no more food, and then they die off too. So it's
wonderful.
It's a win-win.
No, that's great. If you're given the $100,000 grant, the amount of vegetable production that stays here in the city of Buffalo will go from what to what?
Currently, we're growing roughly about, I'd say, between the lettuces, the greens, the herbs, the microgreens, we're probably doing between 70 and 100 pounds a month. Mm-hmm. We would be able to probably triple that, depending on what the customers want. So, it really is up to them. Right now, we know we'll be doing a lot of basil. We'll be doing a lot of heads of lettuce. Mm-hmm. So we usually don't measure lettuce in weight, so it's kind of hard to say in pounds, but at least 1,600 to 2,500 heads a week.
Great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our 7 pitches. Let's give a big round of applause to our judges and our 7 finalists.
The new Buffalo realizes that the future doesn't happen. What happens is what you make happen. It's what you people understand innately. It's what brought you here. You make your future. You make your destiny. Fortune favors the bold. And it's true for a young entrepreneur, and it's true for a city.
Once again, I'm Nate Benson, host of Latitude, the 43 North podcast. And I'm going to do things a little different tonight. Instead of a podcast, I'm going to do 20 minutes on the life of Grover Cleveland. So sit back. It's going to be... Who here has listened to Latitude, the 43 North podcast? All right, great. And we have some new potential listeners in here. I love it. Fantastic. So we've had 65 episodes of the podcast. We started it in March 2017. We talked to startup founders, entrepreneurs, investors, community leaders with the goal of telling the story of the Western New York entrepreneurship. You can find Latitude on Latitude the 43 North podcast on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. So while the judges are deliberating, we're going to do a live edition of the podcast right here on this stage. But who are we going to talk to? Well, we have a great panel tonight. I'm thrilled to introduce three incredible entrepreneurs. First, we have someone who's making Buffalo beautiful. It sounded better when I wrote it. When I say it, that's what happens. From groom service, beauty, and dry bar, as well as Row House Bakery and Restaurant, Mariah Jaworski. Next up, please welcome someone who's keeping Buffalo looking trendy, co-owner of Half and Half Boutique, Kilby Bronstein. And last, but certainly not least, someone who I can say without a doubt is responsible for at least 10 extra pounds most of us are carrying around in Buffalo, Pete Cimino from Lloyd's Taco. All right, thank you guys so much for joining us while the judges deliberate. How are we doing tonight?
Great. Good.
Check, check. Okay.
All right.
Great.
It worked.
Having fun so far?
So far, so good.
You heard some of the pitches in the back. What'd you think?
Oh my God, they're amazing. You're just talking to them back there.
It's really fantastic. It's a great night. So now we're going to slow things down, have a nice conversation. First things first, Facebook is broadcasting this live to the world. We know who you guys are here in Buffalo, but for those who don't, why don't you give us the quick pitch of who you are?
So this is for everyone in Sweden?
For everyone in Sweden. Okay. I know they've got a huge taco contingent in Sweden.
So Lloyd is about more than just tacos. We're about creating a community of like-minded people, and we just happen to serve scratch-made food and inventive cocktails, and we do it in an environment, and we hope not to break your wallet.
Kilby?
Half and Half is located in the Elmwood Village. We're a women's, men's, and home goods store. We cater to women and men of all ages for casual and dressy attire. And we really have a really big footprint here in Buffalo with social responsibility. We like to partner with other organizations and definitely give back to this great community.
Groom Service, Beauty and Dry Bar, is located in the Hotel Lafayette, downtown Buffalo. We've been open for about 4 years now, and we cater to both the bridal market, the special event market, and the in-home on-demand services. When it comes to any event, we are making Buffalo beautiful, as Nate said.
You said it a lot better than I did.
Thanks.
And a special thanks to Mariah. You joined this panel about an hour ago because we had a cancellation, so thank you so much for picking up the slack and helping us out tonight. So coming back up the line real quick,
Tell us the story why you started your business, and in your case, 2 businesses.
Sure. So with Groom Service, I actually came at it from the standpoint of an investor. I had moved to Buffalo about 4 years ago from Washington, D.C., where you had Dry Bar, Blow Bar on every corner, and you also had Sephora's, Blue Mercury's, the retail-oriented skincare services being offered. So I met my creative. And for anybody who is an investor, what you really need to do is meet your artist or meet your creative. And I met that person in Katie Ambrose. And she and I connected, and we really looked clearly at the Buffalo market, which was lacking in both beauty services and bridal services. Now is a great time to be getting into the special event bridal market in Buffalo. If you're a special event coordinator, if you're a wedding planner, it really is just an emerging field in this city. And so where we were standing, it just made a lot of sense to offer those services. And it's the core of our business, and we're looking for our second location to expand. So it's been very successful 4 years for us.
Fantastic. Gilby?
I was actually just out of college when I moved home to Buffalo, and I was faced with the decision to go to New York City or stay here, and I fell back in love with Buffalo. It was not like this when I was in high school. I grew up in Colden, so I was driving in and out of the city. I never really got to experience Buffalo, and I was so blown away with the city that my mom and I, who are business partners, which is crazy fun, and we wanted to reinvest back into Buffalo. And the previous owner of Half and Half approached us, asked us if we wanted to buy the business. We said yes, but we wanted to buy the building as well. And then we wanted to also purchase the building next door so we can create kind of a little community of businesses, pop-ups, events, and then hopefully partner with a different business to go in next door to us.
Why'd you start Lloyd?
Personally, it was for financial freedom, you know. I was a teacher at the time. I had started a few other businesses. Some were extreme failures, which I learned from, and some were, you know, pretty decent, profitable, but nothing really, you know, in terms of taking the plunge and going all in. So Lloyd happened to be that, and the opportunity to be the first food truck was really enticing to me, and that race was stuck in my head. So I figured, you know, why not?
And we'll get back up to that, a question about that battle you kind of had about that. But I want to talk first about retail, and this is, you know, for you guys. Retail fashion industry is getting hit pretty hard. We can watch the news pretty much every week and see, you know, 75 more stores across the country and close down of insert big box company here. So e-commerce is obviously a big deal. People just want to buy their stuff online, not go to retail shops. How do you guys combat that feeling of not having a population that want to go into a retail shop anymore?
Well, we're kind of unique in that we're sort of service-oriented with a retail component. I think you probably have more to speak to with respect to the retail.
Absolutely. I think e-commerce is the biggest one we face, with people just constantly shopping online. And I didn't honestly notice it until this past winter. And I was actually talking with Pete earlier. He was like, is it really slow at the store in the winter? And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so slow. And it's because everyone's online shopping. And so what we really noticed is that they'll come in the store, they'll look at the price, and then maybe they'll go shop it online because they like the convenience. But what we offer, being a brick and mortar store, is the personalization, the working with the customers, and the working with the person behind the brand. My mom and I handpick literally everything that goes into the store. And so when we talk with the customers and we get to talk to them about why we picked it, why we think it looks good on them, the fabrics, it's a personal experience you don't get online. Retail is a cyclical cycle. I mean, brick and mortar stores, this is kind of like our time to shine. With big box stores closing, it may not last forever, but it's definitely, this is it for us.
I would actually add to the personalization and customization kind of component of the retail experience, that will never go away. And the education that comes from walking into a brick and mortar store is unlike anything you can experience online. So for us, we're service oriented. Everyone who comes into our space, they're going to get makeup application, they'll get their hair done. We're educating them as they go along on their skincare routine, on their hair care routine. And if they're getting a service with us, they're leaving with a product in hand. That's our mantra. So there's really something to be said about
service.
offering the unique educational component of the retail experience.
I've talked to a few storefront owners of the Elmwood Village. They said, things have been changing, but they noticed a big change when services like Skip the Dishes and Uber Eats came around because you weren't getting as much of that foot traffic that going to the restaurants. Have you experienced anything like that? Is it a little anecdotal?
I
or is it
definitely
hit or miss?
experienced when Panos closed a couple months ago for renovations. It was definitely quiet on that end of the street. We're not necessarily really part of the huge food district, so I don't say we get a ton of foot traffic that way. But I definitely think everything you do on social media is so important to put yourself out there, because someone will be like, oh my gosh, I love this dress. I want to come in the store. Or they'll message you and save this dress for me or put this on hold. So I think how you put yourself out there. I don't know if foot traffic is necessarily the future of retail, unfortunately.
So
but little areas like the Elmwood Village and Hurdle and even down by Groom Service, those communities are so important.
So Pete, you brought food truck culture to Western New York. Any update on when the statue of you will be finished?
Can I do the Heisman pose with the taco?
No, all kidding aside, you really did shake things up when you started your first food truck. Now you have multiple trucks, multiple brick and mortars. How did social media help in those early days with Lloyd and the expansion of that?
Yeah, I tell everybody flat out, this business, this food truck model, as it exists, wouldn't be possible without social media. Particularly Facebook, but and now Instagram. You are learning so much valuable information from your customers early on, and real time taking that back and making adjustments could make or break your business in its infancy.
What are some of your best practices for social media, especially with a food truck business?
Very customer service driven. We take time to answer every inbound message. It doesn't matter what it's about. We think that's super important in a world when you're basically getting an answering machine, or you may not be talking to someone here. So it's nice to get on that and get on it fast. I think people really just want to know that their voice is heard, and you're forming a bond with your customer that you normally wouldn't be able to do.
It's funny. Monday night I had to make some of the calls for the Ignite Buffalo finalists. I called this one company, I won't mention them, but I called them 4 times. Finally, I go on Instagram, send them a direct message, and literally in 17 seconds he called me back. You were on your phone. Anyway, anecdotally. Kilby Mariah, best practices for you guys for social media for your kind of very different audience than obviously what Pete's dealing with.
We've actually just been kind of rebranding the Half and Half social media. And so we've really been working with consistency, mapping out our posts, making sure that we are interacting with our customers. That is so important. Every single time someone messages us, we message them back immediately. They want to know there's a person behind the phone. And having an idea, someone told me once you could just take a picture and put it up and you'd be fine, and that is so not the case, especially in retail. And so just making sure we're cohesive and putting our brand out there.
For Groom Service and Row House, we both have a relatively active social media presence, but I would also add, in addition to Instagram, in addition to Facebook, and maybe even LinkedIn, we try to focus on traditional marketing as well. So for Groom Service, one of the best, I think, initiatives that we had was a direct traditional marketing mailing that went out to, there was some list in one of the Buffalo dailies that identified the 100 powerhouse women in the area. We got 5 of our best and most loyal clients from directly sending them personalized gift certificates. So I understand and I appreciate the importance of social media, but I would say don't focus on social media at the expense of traditional marketing, because there's still a lot of value there as well.
It's part of a tool in a toolbox.
Absolutely.
I actually want to piggyback on that real quick. Half and Half actually just signed up with a organization through Instagram where every single time someone messages us, we send them a gift certificate for 15% off. And so you are so right. It is so important to kind of interact with people that way and give them something and give them an excuse to come in and use your services.
We've got 27 companies getting an influx of money tonight. They're going to have new customers. What's your approach to customer satisfaction traditionally and on social media? How do you handle those negative comments, those positive comments? Obviously, you guys are all different businesses, so you see a lot of different types of feedback on social media.
Oh, I think you have to respond to every single person, whether it's positive or negative. Don't ever leave someone who left you a negative response hanging. They deserve a response just as much as the person who told you you were doing an amazing job. Apologize. Tell them what you thought was wrong, or try and rectify the problem. Every single customer is important, even if they left unhappy. Figure out, fix the problem. I mean, we get a ton of great posts, a ton of great feedback, and then every so often we get one where it was a negative, and you have to approach it and take it as a learning lesson and learn something from it.
Yeah, I would agree 150%. I mean, you can't hide. There's no place to run anymore. And I think, just as you said, be honest. It shows that you're human too, and I think that's really important. But yeah, I don't see how you can run away from it.
I really don't have much to add. Responsiveness is key. And then if you can demonstrate that you're course correcting, so definitely in the food industry, if you get a series of complaints on one issue or one topic, and you're able through social media to demonstrate how you've course corrected and how you've addressed the issue, I think that would be a no-brainer. But responsiveness is everything.
Yeah, I mean, we have people, we have a team, we're just checking it 24/7, and I'm reviewing it on a weekly basis to check in to see if there is a repeated problem and is there something happening internally that we can correct.
Well, especially, I'm sure all you guys have experienced that one customer, no matter how much you help them out, you give them a little extra, they're just still angry beyond comprehension and can't be pleased. Is that just a case where you shut it down and just got to move on?
No, I think you take the high road, and you still do your best. And if I didn't, I think my mom would be pissed about it. But yeah, you take the high road, and you can't please everybody. You have to know that. I mean, your brand stands for something, but it doesn't mean you're rude to someone because they don't like what you offer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about mentors. Who have been some of your biggest mentors starting your small business? What's been that feedback they've given you, positive or negative? Because sometimes that's what those mentors are there for, to give you that tough love, something you might not want to hear, but it's really going to make your business get that much better.
I don't actually have one specific mentor, but I cannot tell you how invaluable my family, my mom, my sister, and my boyfriend have been in helping me along the way. I mean, they are probably the people who are going to be the most honest to you. They love you unconditionally, so even if you don't agree with them, they're still gonna, tell you you're wrong, or you're right, or this is a good idea, or you should think about doing this. So listen to your family. They care about you, and they want you to succeed. But I actually took an entrepreneur class at UB a couple years ago, and my professor told me to fail fast. And that sounds pretty harsh, but he was completely right. You have to realize when you have an idea and it's not working, to get out, because you do not want to be stuck in something financially, especially if it's not working out. So that was some good advice.
Yeah, my mentors, pretty much everything is from afar, just trying to digest stuff from books and YouTube and going to listen to people speak and try to be inspired that way.
And listening to the Latitude podcast on a regular basis?
Well, yes.
I appreciate that.
We will now.
But I think it goes like something to the effect of Earl Nightingale said, you need to grow people. And I think that is super important. Everything we do is through people. So investing in others, and sometimes that means putting them before yourself. And you as a leader, you sometimes eat last. And I think showing that dedication and that commitment in front of your team speaks volumes. And those people will stick around.
So here's what I have to say about mentorship. You will be surprised how many people will take your phone call. So you might be intimidated by so-and-so who is CEO of this company that you are using as your business model, or you're inspired by, and they're so out of your league, and why would they ever give you 5 minutes? 9 times out of 10, they will. So what I have experienced in my career outside of these companies and definitely in these companies is always reach out. The worst thing that you would ever get is an unreturned email, and then so what? But if there's someone out there who inspires you, who you want to make your mentor, or who you just want the benefit of a coffee date with them, reach out in a meaningful way, and I think you'll be very surprised at the response.
So as we wrap this up, what's your parting advice for an entrepreneur already in the thick of it, or for the 27 entrepreneurs who are about to take that next step?
Hustle. It's around the clock hustle. That's it.
Keep going at it.
Yeah.
Don't sleep. It's a grind. Get used to it. Love it.
I mean, those were all amazing people who spoke tonight, and I think all three of us were back there saying we were just so blown away and so honored to be a part of this and be able to be a part of them growing their businesses here. So it's a lot of work, but you're in a great city, and grow with your city, grow with your community. They are the most important part of your business.
And I think in times of flux, make sure you remember why you're doing it. Your why is super important. It should be at the front of your mind. You should, when you wake up in the morning and it's a tough day, focus on the why. And make sure that the values of your company, your brand is you're speaking that story and you're speaking it as loud as you can. Because that's how you're going to attract the people that ultimately will come to your business, either as customers or on your team.
Well, Pete, Kilby, Mariah, thank you so much for helping us out tonight, joining this panel. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it here. How about a round of applause for our panel? Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for enjoying that, hopefully. Remember to subscribe to the Latitude Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, and Google Playlists. All right. Bill, how we doing? We looking good? I'm getting the signal. The judges are ready. Welcome back to the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Maggio.
Okay, are we ready? I'd like to welcome back to the stage our 7 finalists, if they're ready. They're coming out. You guys don't look familiar at all. Are we ready? Okay, here we go. Our 7 finalists. Okay, so the awards we're going to present will be presented randomly. So there's no order. And before I do that, I'd like to ask 2 very important people in our community to come up and join me in handing out the awards. First, I'd like to invite Renee Jones, Chairman and CEO of M&T Bank. And Buffalo's own David Jakubowski from Facebook. Our first $50,000 award goes to Beryl and Brian. Next up is our $100,000 award. First one, Grow Operative. Our second $50,000 grant goes to Groundwork Market Garden. Next up, a $50,000 grant goes to Buffalo All-Star Extreme. Our second $100,000 prize goes to Oxford Pennant. fourth $50,000 prize goes to Top Seeds. And to make this official. And finally, thank you for casting your votes. Our People's Choice Award goes to Get Focused Productions. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating all 7 of our winners. Wonderful job. Okay, just some closing remarks here. I'll be brief. I don't know about you, but I had a lot of fun up here. This is so inspirational to me. I'm grateful for your attendance and help in celebrating another win for our great city. Thank you again to Facebook, M&T Bank, our partners, judges, and volunteers. We look forward to all your participation in Ignite Buffalo programming. God bless and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.